Hi everyone, good evening and welcome to Boss versus Coach. We are back with yet another exciting and hard-hitting episode. But before that, I want to explore the bomb. I know Diwali is a little far, but I want to celebrate it tonight. And the news is all about me and Olivia coming out soon with our second book. The book is titled Boss versus Coach: The Inner Game of Leadership. Our first book did a great impact. It did wonders with many. It touched the hearts and mindsets of many and helped few to got transformed. That's the impact we were looking for. That's the success we were looking for. People have started talking about boss versus coach. People have started talking about coaching. They have started talking about this much needed transformation. And that's the success I and Olivia aimed when we started writing the first book. Now we want to go a little deeper, a little stronger, and within, because we very well understand and appreciate that the real game of coaching, the real game of leadership is not outwards but inward. And the book has therefore been started. We'll keep coming to you with more updates. Need your wishes and prayers for making it a good book, not only for your shelf, but for your hearts. Olivia,
Yeah, it's really exciting actually because we've been inspired by so many people coming to us talking about the boss versus coach concept, appreciating the book and also wondering what does that actually look like. So we've gone a very different route. We are going to tell the story of someone moving through the boss to coach journey, the everyday, how it feels, where it goes wrong, how to turn it around. And we just felt that a storybook would be an interesting way of sharing this kind of journey. So I'm really hopeful that it will touch people who maybe don't like the other style so much or don't quite link in with what we're saying. So I think it's an interesting approach, and I hope people appreciate it.
absolutely. And we'll take the viewers in the life of Arav. And when they will start traveling through the sequence of events that unwinds in his life, you'll be able to connect the dots. You'll be able to relate to the character. You'll be able to experience those pains, those shifts, those movements, those downward, upward, transformative movements. And I'm sure this book will leave a lasting impression. On that note, I want to start today's episode. So, we are back with another hard hitting episode, as I told you in the beginning. And today we will talk about the new buzzword in the town: building high performing teams. I've been reading a lot of posts, getting a lot of invites on programs, sessions, and talks around how to build an high performing team. To me, it sounds like some superhero Marvel squad ready to fire and save the world. But when you actually enter the office, you find it like your high performing team is like a cricket match in the summers of Delhi. People sweating, yelling instructions at other, dropping catches, and someone silently praying that the match should end. So, what's high performing team all about? How can there be one formula to build a high performing team? What is the metrics to judge a team as high performing? And why do we want to tag any team as high performing? So we'll unlock these questions, we'll unlock this mystery with Olivia and one very special guest tonight on the show. Let me quickly introduce you to the guest. So we have Shikha Saboo, all the way from Maharashtra, India. Tonight on our show, Shikha has been an entrepreneur and a mompreneur and has been the CEO of Unravel Minds. Shika has till now coached more than 2,000 students, helped them bring out the essence of coaching, shift in mindset, gain clarity in their life and vision. Welcome, Shika. Welcome on the show.
Thank you so much, Mohit, for the introduction. And thank you, Olivia and Mohit, for having me here. It's a great privilege to be here sharing stage with both of you.
Shikha, I would like you to tell quickly about yourself, the work you are doing.
Yeah.
How have you been able to align to this theme of boss versus coach?
So, in the professional journey, anyone in India or anywhere for the in the world for that matter starts with a very simple aim in life. They want to get a good degree, get a good job, and make a successful career out of it. And a small kid who is dreaming about maybe becoming a VP or even for that matter, an owner of a company, doesn't know the truth, doesn't know the realities of how the things work. And I also started in the same way, from a tier 3 city to going to a tier 1 town, trying to explore, trying to find my own way, making it one step slowly, going ahead in different directions, finding out what really makes me have that passion of getting up early and going to work with all that energy. It's not about just, you get up early, you're energetic, and the moment you hear about, oh, I have to get to work, and you're like, I don't know, I don't want to go, and you'll try to find excuses. I've had my share of ups and downs and challenges in my own workplaces. And today, after I think over 15 years, I finally decided um, to be independent, to be a person who can actually now full-fledgedly pursue the passion of coaching youth and students, mentoring them, making that mind shift change, and also empowering them so that when it comes to them, that they become owners and VPs of the company, they are truly, a coach and not a boss, and which is actually the theme of your book, coming from that shift from that boss to a coach. Right. So, yeah, this is about it. And at Unravel Minds, we are also trying to build in an employee assistant program, which is an EAP solution, which is so customized and personalized that every employee who gets an opportunity to be a part of it will feel as if, oh, it's meant for me. So that's something we are trying to build right now at Unravel Minds.
Thanks, Shikha, and thanks for this lovely introduction. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
So let's go for it. Olivia, when we talk about high performing teams, what does it mean to you? Is there a definition for the same, or is it a corporate jargon for long working hours?
Well, you know me, Mohit. The first thing I want to know is, what do we mean? What does high performing mean? Because when you look at people's performance metrics and their KPIs, they're normally skewed to the money. Are you making the turnover? Is the profit there? Have you made so many calls in a quarter? It's very basic stuff. And I think people measure what they can measure. So the machine says, I can give you this data. That's the data that's sent back to you. But what do we mean by performance? So if all I want out of my team is that they work really long hours, then is them working really long hours high performing? Well, no, it's appalling performing, really, because they will be exhausted and they will be lost in, no creativity left. If I think, well, my high performing team would be one that always has each other's backs, that is honest and true, that is creative and fun. Those are actually quite hard things to build metrics around. But for me, if they have all of those things, high performance is an outcome. So if I get all of the good stuff happening, I know that their performance will be good. And when it isn't, they will have the vulnerability and the courage to be able to come to me and talk about what's up before it
Yeah.
becomes an issue. So I worry as soon as we put all this corporate stuff around something, it becomes about metrics. And I don't like metrics very much in that way.
Agreed. Shikha, your take on high
Yeah.
performing team.
I want to second the thought which Olivia just put, that there is really no metrics, and we should actually not have a metrics around high performing teams. And coming back to the definition, high performance will be an outcome if there is a sense of safety, sense of belongingness in the organization. And I would like to go back to the basics when we talk about what exactly is an organization. An organization is like a group of people who come together working towards a common goal. Nowadays, organization is only meant as a corporate, but no, corporate is a type of organization, and we always have to go back to the basics and make it sound that it is people centric. like Olivia said, that we will measure everything that can be measured. So it's not about the quantitative approach that, okay, these are your KPIs and you have made this sale or that is the turnover. It's about really our people, who are actually putting in the efforts to get in those numbers churn in. Are they really feeling like they are a part of this achievement, or is it just the, uppermost management who is enjoying the perks of it?
Mm.
Agreed. So, Olivia, we talk a lot about trust and culture, but honestly, can trust and culture be engineered into humans, or is it just earned organically over time? And how does trust and culture being connected when we talk about a high performing team?
Well, you don't ask quick questions, do you? Let me start at the beginning. Culture. You have a culture in your team, whether you try to or not, but it might not be the culture that you're looking for. And it's my belief that having a strong, healthy, supportive culture is a real job of work for a leader. And actually, that's the job of work for a lot of leaders, to actually get to a space where every individual is seen for their strengths, for the development areas, for their whole selves, for maybe the way that they work being different from others and celebrating that difference, because maybe it brings a richness to the team. So culture is, for me, a really hard thing to define because it depends on the people in the group. But it does want to be supportive of all of those people in the group because they all create that culture in between.
Yeah.
And there's no one size fits all, and there's certainly no instant fixes. We are, to Shika's point, we're all just human. We're all just getting along, and we all have great days, and we all have terrible days, and they may coincide and they may not. So for me, it's all about the leader stepping back and taking one of their responsibilities is creating an environment where people can feel heard and seen. Then performance drives from that.
Good.
I think that's
Um,
the art of high performing team, that you don't have to start tagging and bring them under the pressure of high or performance or extraordinary performance, but you need to build a team on trust with empathy and coaching. They just strive together to bring the best of them. Uh, again, it's a buzzword, but and it's getting followed now. Shikha, your views.
I'll add another buzzword to that: open door policy. Talking about trust gets me to this whole, shenanigan that sometimes is put out as open door policy. And if, I mean, ask anyone if possible, how many times you've actually walked into that whole open door policy and got a solution which actually helped you and not like a dilemma. So building trust comes when that vulnerability is accepted and not as a weakness, but as a momentary setback. Everyone goes through ups and downs. Even companies have challenges. They don't they go through this ups and downs in their sales, and we don't shut down the company. We don't shut down the unit. We actually work hard to how to turn it around. So then why are the employees who are actually bringing in all these efforts treated different? I think more than that high performance, we should focus on human centric approach in the
Mm.
companies. Yeah.
Agreed. So, Olivia, does company confuse high performance with high burnout? At what point of time does chasing performance actually destroy the very team that one is trying to build?
Well, okay, you've answered a really simple question for me to answer. Yes. I think, if your metrics are around constant performance, long hours, being there all the time, going the extra mile every minute of the day, well, of course you're going to burn people out. I've just been talking to a client of mine who was, there's a coaching client, and they were saying their leadership has said they want all of their people to be able to show 100% utilization of their working week. They want to see 40 chargeable hours on every timesheet for every person. That's crazy. That's burnout. You can't be always on. Where's the creativity? Where's the spotting the opportunities? Where's that moment of finding something new, or even just getting closer to your team, or training, or anything else? So if you are going to say, yeah, high performing means performing every hour of the day, you are talking about total burnout.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, I think burnout is one of the biggest cause why people are nowadays not very happy about getting into a job, or even if they are in a job, they feel like I think we should just find alternate options. Why people are switching so quickly? There was a trend in India that people used to work in the same organization, be it a private or a government organization, and they used to be there like for years. Even they retire from the same organization. But if you look at the current generation, after a year or so, they are already looking for options. They're already so tired, so exhausted, that pressure, that competition. I think I would like to take a moment back and give a bigger picture perspective here, that when we look at the entire process of a life of a student, like from student to the whole work culture, it's kind of all around competition, that I want to be ahead of the other person. I want to just go ahead and ahead. And I think this entire rat race that is happening is also kind of that peer pressure that is building it. And being a mental health activist myself, I am strongly working on this element, that we need to really make this radical change, that it should not be competitive centric. It should be completely on that psychological safety that is required in a workplace, which will help you to give a complete 100% productivity also, but maybe not in the same way where we might have a machine work. We are not robots. Coming
Mm.
back to that, is like we are human, so everyone might have their own capacities, and they might also have their way of working. So that flexibility and that sense of appreciation, belonging, and safety is more important, because 50% of the employees, I'm just saying it out loud. I'm sure the statistics might say a different number, but there is always this threat that, oh, I might lose my job. Maybe there will be a mass layoff. Maybe there will be something else. Maybe there will be an AI replacement. But all these is causing that sense of safety itself, the basic. I mean, in Maslow's hierarchy of needs also, safety is the base. The basic need is safety. If that is not happening, I'm not seeing anyone going towards the need of self actualization there.
Mm. It's an interesting one, actually, just to pick up on that. A lot of organizations, I know the leaders will say, people today are so disloyal. People today, they'll turn away from their jobs as soon as you want. It's terrible. But I know people have worked in the same organization for 50, 60 years. So is it just young people? Well, no. From the 80s onwards, organizations broke the psychological contract that they had with their people. They started the layoffs. They started putting profit before organization. They started doing all sorts of things, which meant that as employees, it's really hard to feel loyal, because there's no loyalty coming the other way. So as long as any organisation's ready to lay off its workforce because the quarterly profits aren't up, they can't be surprised when people leave, because they're really not enjoying their lives.
Yeah.
And
I have a
Olivia,
friend. Yeah,
no, no,
sorry.
continue, Shubham. So I was
I
saying,
just had.
the most crazy thing I found is not the myth of high performing team or the buzzword of high performing team, but then people considering a single formula on building one. So how would you both like to attend to that? How can there be one formula for building a high performing team when we are dealing with humans and not machines?
Uh, Olivia, would you like to go ahead first?
I can. I've gone first every time. Do you want to have a crack at this one? Or?
Sure, no problem. I can take that. Uh, Think of it like a, like a lemonade or a potion that you're trying to create. You cannot have equal amount of lemon, water, and sugar, and even salt to go in it. You need to have a mixture, and I think high performing team should have this kind of an approach where even though people come with a similar skill set, see, everyone studies a basic education degree like a bachelor's or a master's, but what makes them stand out is their skill set, the person, their journey in itself gives that X factor to that individual. And if the company can start noticing and appreciating that, I'm pretty sure eventually the game will be different. We're more of looking at the coaching perspective, which is not about, just about the control or creating that sense of insecurity by putting in competitions out there and making them get the numbers just churn in. And I have a friend, I was talking about him, and I just had a call with him today evening, and he was so down today. He has been traveling almost 60 kilometers every day one way from one city to another for his job because he has his own responsibilities and commitments. And he had a very terrible incident where he was about to be like, he would be involved in a very horrible accident because he fell down from the train and the train was moving. And even after that, he has this sense of responsibility and he wants to, and he's still doing the same thing. He's still taking a train every day and traveling back and forth. And I literally asked him this question, like, at what cost? What is the opportunity cost? You are working in a sector where you understand how economics work. What is the opportunity cost of that extra income that you're getting just because you're going to a different city and, putting your life at the risk? He's a father of two small children, and I felt that very strongly. And I think it kind of brings back to this whole thing that there is a sense of insecurity. There is a sense of missing out that, oh, if I don't perform, I might not be up for the next promotion. I might not be able to provide for my family. So the basic needs is, I think, putting that extra pressure, and people are thinking that we want to live this whole materialistic life and have a good house and good car, and all of these things will give us a sense of fulfillment. But I think we are missing out that we are kind of pulling ourselves away from the basic needs.
No, you've said so much in there, Shika. I don't even know where to start to pick up on your points. They're excellent. But there is one thing that really stood out for me, and there's a famous adage that no one ever lay on their deathbed going, I'm going to miss all of those meetings. I mean, what are we doing? What are we doing to ourselves if we put all of that ahead of the things that actually sustain us? The people, the places, the times, the laughter, the tears with other real humans, or making some CEO have a bigger bonus that year. I mean, really, there's some, we're getting a bit, radical in terms of turning over the establishment. But I really do believe that if your organization treats you like a cog, then there is a point at which you can unscrew yourself and go somewhere else.
True. And I think the change should begin from the top because that's where it all begins. A company where it starts with one or two employees, and that employees goes and becomes the boss. I would like to call it boss for now, but that's what we are trying to change. Instead of becoming a boss, if he or she becomes a coach, the person who's working in that organization will have better growth opportunities, sense of psychological safety, trust, loyalty. I think everything will automatically, come back. It will be the linchpin.
I agree. It starts at the top.
So that's thank you, Shikha and Olivia. I think I can just wish that this should go on, and there is so much to speak and so much to share. Uh, Again, I leave it to the viewers. I leave it to the people around to see whether they still want to believe in building a high performing team, or they need to shift their focus in just building a team, set them free, and let them bring their best. The performance in that case may not be tagged as high performing, but it will be fulfilling, satisfying, and in simple terms, a performance. On that note, I leave it to all to decide whether there still exists the opportunity to build a high performing team. And if there is a recipe for the same, please do share it back with the three of us. Good night, take care, goodbye. Keep watching Boss versus Coach and do await for the next one. Bye
See
bye.
you soon.
Thank you. Thanks, Shika.
Bye.
See you. Bye. Thank